Okay, I think we're live. Welcome to the call, everybody. Chip Bennis with BioGreen of North Florida. I'm here with the founder of BioGreen America, Mr. Larry Smith. And I brought Larry on today briefly to talk to us about the difference between cleaning, sanitizing, and disinfecting. Larry, welcome. Appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me. Always good to be with you.
I know that when I first got involved, up until I got trained by BioGreen of America, I lumped all three of those things into like one basket. And I think there's a lot of people that do. Number one, don't even realize that there is a different, almost definition between the three. So can you touch on that? And then we're going to talk about the difference in the products that we use to do each one of them, and we'll go from there.
Sure. First of all, the EPA sets the definition. So anytime you see a categorization on a product, that they've passed the regulations or the standards set by the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, for that particular category. So you have different bars that a cleaner, a sanitizer, and a disinfectant have to meet. The lowest bar is a cleaner. A cleaner is simply removing dust, debris, dirt from any surface. That's what cleaning is. It's not killing anything. A cleaner is just helping you to remove whatever is on that surface. Sanitizing, which is kind of the next level up, if you will, is simply killing or it reduces the amount of bacteria that's identified on their label. So if a sanitizer says that it kills A, B, C, D types of bacteria, they have gone through the testing at the EPA that verifies that they kill those types of bacteria. And typically a sanitizer has a relatively short list of bacteria that it kills. Then you get to the highest level, really, which is disinfecting. And disinfecting kills bacteria, again, everything that's on the label, because you cannot say that it kills something, E. coli, for example, unless you have proven to the EPA that your product kills E. coli. So it not only kills bacteria, and the better disinfectants are more robust. In other words, they kill a wide swath of bacteria. But they also destroy or inactivate viruses. So, and all of those have to be identified on the label. So you can't make a claim unless it's been submitted and verified by the EPA. And at the highest level there of a disinfecting in the disinfecting world is a hospital grade disinfectant. So a lot of people just think whatever it is that they get a cleaner and they think, well, there's a lot of misconception out there. But again, if you want to kill bacteria and deactivate a virus, because a virus is not a living thing, you need a disinfectant.
Touch briefly, Larry, on what the solution is that BioGreen of America uses to disinfect.
Sure. The EPA says, according to their regulations, that you can't label a product green if it kills. So you don't see, there's no such thing as a green labeled as such disinfectant. The products that we use, and there are two, have 100% green attributes. And by that I mean there are no negative effects to humans, electronics, in any way, shape, or form. But you cannot label them green because the EPA standards that were set decades ago haven't changed. The products that we use can be used as a non-rinse formula in and around food prep areas, which is the highest safety designation that you can get. One of the problems that's in the marketplace today because a lot of people have jumped on board,
Right.
the disinfection bandwagon, which we began 13 years ago. We began that proactive risk reduction industry 13 years ago. You're seeing a lot of chemicals in the marketplace that should not be used to disinfect in any space that's used by the public. Very dangerous. A lot of rinse formulas, a lot of quat formulas that are very toxic. I mean, you can trust me, you can find a lot of great disinfectants that will kill everything virtually known to man, including man.
Right.
So you just have to be careful about what you're using.
Gotcha. And that kind of leads me into speak to how important reviewing a safety data sheet, which it should be available from anybody that somebody's using to disinfect. The importance of that sheet and what to look for and what to look out for, I guess, would be a better term.
Yeah. Material safety data sheet is something that if you're having a company, any company, including ours, disinfect your business, your home, auto, boat, whatever it is, that sheet, which is the official, that meets all the government standards, if you will, that will tell you what precautions to take when applying the material. So if it tells you to wear a respirator while you're applying this particular disinfectant, I would highly recommend not doing it because it is toxic. If you have to wear, a hazmat suit to apply it, which is pretty common, I would highly recommend not using it because it is highly, highly toxic. Material safety data sheet will tell you all the precautions you should take. It will tell you what to do if it gets in your eyes and your hands, and you want to pay attention to that because disinfectants that are highly toxic can harm you, can kill you. So you want to look for a material safety data sheet that doesn't require all of those precautions. And those are the materials that we use. But it's very, very important to review that sheet so you know what you're bringing into your environment.
Right.
And in some cases, the bacteria that you're killing is better for you than the toxicity that you're bringing in. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true.
Well, I've directed people also to the section of the data sheet that where it talks about personal protection equipment, PPE.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I know the solutions that we use, none is required. I know that we wear a regular mask for OSHA standards, but gloves aren't required, sleeves aren't required. So final thing I want you to touch on, Larry, is and you see this, bless their hearts, you see it a lot. I'm not picking on restaurants, but you're waiting for a table, they come out with a squirt bottle full of stuff and a rag, and they squirt down the table, wipe it right up, hand you your menus, and you slide into the booth.
Yeah.
Couple things important there. What is dwell time, and why is that important?
Every time a chemical company submits a product with a kill claim, in other words, we're submitting our tests that show that we kill E. coli or coronavirus or whatever it might be, the EPA will say, yes, you can put that on your label. Your tests were conclusive. We agree it does. However, these products, including ours, don't kill instantly. They kill over a relatively short period of time, and that's what dwell time is. So when you're spraying something on a surface and simply immediately wiping it off, the chances that you're killing anything are virtually zero. You're simply moving it around. You're cleaning. Again, we go back to you're removing things, but you're not necessarily killing things. The other thing that's been found over years of study is that many times when you're using a rag and whatever solution that you're using, you're aerosolizing some of it up into the air, which can then get into the HVAC system. In other words, it's not a great way to clean unless it's allowed to dwell. So if you're spraying a table, for example, dwell time there should be at least 2-3 minutes to allow that product to work and actually kill. But that's it's not done, and that's why what we do is so efficient. We come in after hours, we fog, or it's a dry mist that we treat every square inch of the facility, and then that is allowed to dwell. That's allowed to sit, and it becomes a very, very efficient broad spectrum killer because it is allowed to sit, and then of course it has a residual value, so that the growth rate of whatever is reintroduced is tamped down. So it's a much more efficient way of actually disinfecting than anything that you can do by hand with any product.
I'll add to that, Larry, too. The process that we use, you can disinfect areas that you can't even reach by hand. I know, in the atmosphere, and and sounds like a commercial, but it's the most efficient and most cost-effective way to disinfect. Pennies per square foot, pennies per employee.
Yeah, that's a great point. Per square foot, it is absolutely the most efficient, cost-effective way to disinfect. The other thing is, if you'll ever notice if there's an outbreak at a government facility, for example, where they can call in the best and the brightest in the world, they always call in and have those facilities disinfected by fogging, by the same, using the same machines that we use, the same machines that we supply our affiliates with, etc. Because it is the most efficient way to disinfect, bar none.
Perfect. Larry, listen, that's some great information, and I appreciate you taking the time to come on and share that with us.
Sure.
And if anybody's got any questions or concerns, they can visit BioGreenofAmerica.com.
Yes, and I believe my email is actually on there, on that site. Feel free, if anybody has any questions, I answer them all. So feel free.
Perfect. Larry, thanks a lot. We appreciate your time. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Until next time. So long. Bye, Larry.
Thank you. Take care.